Yeah, Vince, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, and you? I'm doing well.
Thank you. I was wondering. I'm sure there are enough chairs in your meeting room for all you running backs. But are there enough footballs to go around for you on Saturdays?
It's enough for everybody in the room. We got enough balls, enough opportunities for everybody.
What's it like, Vincent, being involved with a five-headed monster running back?
I mean, that's tremendous. It feels good being able to, you got guys you can rely on, you can lean on guys. If anything happened on us, we could look at over to the next person and know that we can rely on the next guy and we can put the next guy in.
So Vince, what separates you guys?
What separates us?
Yeah.
From last year?
I mean, to try to, everybody wants a chance to get as many carries as possible. How do you separate yourself from the other guys? Is it just performance? Are there little things that we don't see? How do you separate yourself?
Yeah, it's the little things. Basically doing the little things right, getting the details right, and just executing, just moving fast, playing fast, being able to play fast and transition.
Vincent, what's it been like, from last year to this year? You kind of have the same offensive line. Do you see a year of growth out of those guys kind of playing together for a whole year?
Oh, definitely. ACC got some trouble. I can't hear you. You buffering right now. It is frozen.
Yeah, it looks like Jake froze. Vince, wanted to ask you, now that you've had time to look over the tape, you made a lot of guys miss on Saturday, but now that you've had to look at the tape, what are some of the things you appreciate about what you did right, and maybe some things that you saw that you're like, hey, I need to work on that for next week?
Basically all the fundamentals. It's not just one thing that I need to work on. It's basically being able to practice. Oh, okay, I did this right. Now I need to get it better. Now I need to work on that, and whatever else I didn't use, I want to focus on that because I didn't use that this weekend.
Vincent, Deuce said after the game, one of the things they're looking for out of the running backs is sometimes we block 3 yards and get 3 yards. They want to block 3 yards and get 8. I'm guessing that looks different for different guys. Maybe a bigger guy, it might be breaking tackles. Maybe for a guy like you, it might be making guys miss. How do you work on that part of your game? What do you do to try to take on those unblocked guys in those situations?
In our room, anybody can make a guy miss. But basically setting up blocks, basically doing everything right. Setting up blocks, and just executing the play, running full speed, doing what you're supposed to do, getting to point A and point B.
Vincent, what kind of stands out about the Syracuse defensive front, and what kind of challenges do you see out of them?
Those guys, they play physical. Those guys are very physical. It's a different defense. They run something different out we're not used to seeing. So, we have a lot of preparation this week, going into this week for those guys. But those guys are a very fast group. They're fast and physical. I give those guys that. They're very fast and physical.
Vincent, sorry if you were asked this before, but have you ever kind of been in this situation where there's so many cooks in the kitchen with this backfield? I mean, there's so many guys who can get the ball, even going back to high school, or would you even compare it to last year? I guess.
Last year it was the same guys. It's just we weren't mature enough. Now this year, I feel like we're very mature. We understand more. Understanding what we have to do, understanding others around us, and that's the difference. I think in us.
And so with so many guys back and your coordinator back, did you kind of feel a game like that coming? And then how do you build off that and continue it into the next week?
We knew that game was coming. And how we're going to build off that week is we're going to leave that week and last week. We're going to start talking about that last week, and we're going to face these guys this week. They got to see us this week.
How was it not to go out? How tough was it not to go out and celebrate, after being, waiting and anticipating this so long, and then here you are with this big opening win, and now you want to go out, just be, 20 years old?
With Coach Powell, there's no celebrating. you get in the end zone, get a ball to the ref, and enjoy the little touchdown with your teammates and come to the sideline. So I mean, we're celebrating it. It don't make no difference for me.
Vincent, there was a
Vince,
couple
obviously,
times where
Izzy is going to be, making an impact this year. You came in as a true freshman last year and made an impact. What have you seen out of him? Whether that was in spring ball, whether it was training camp in week one, and kind of, do you see any similarities in the way that he's kind of come in as you came in last year?
Everybody brings something different to the table. So it's not like, oh, this guy, but everybody gets the jobs done. But with Izzy, seeing him coming in, I ain't gonna lie, that kid's a freak. He's different. He's powerful, strong. He's fast. He could go from 0 to 100 real quick. He hits his top end speed very fast. Like, he can make a person miss, or he can run through you, make a person miss, or run past you.
Who in the running back room would win in a 40 out of the 5 of you guys?
We got to get RJ to, he got to schedule that. Schedule that, get a few cameras outside the race.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. Any final questions for Vincent?
Yeah, Vince, there's a couple
Vincent.
times
Go ahead, Alan.
where you guys had a big play and then you got called out like a yard short, and every time you were able to go pick up that touchdown pretty quickly. I know that was something that gave you guys some trouble last year. Was that a focus coming into this season? Is just having a little better success on those short yardage situations in the red zone?
I'm just gonna let you know now. You're gonna see more touchdowns in red zone. It's just basically everybody has a better understanding this year. It's like everybody knows what's going on. No one's lost. We have a second year on our belt under Coach Whip. So you're gonna see a lot of touchdowns. It's gonna be a lot of celebrating, and that's what y'all want to see. Y'all see a lot of celebrating this year, and y'all will be doing a lot of celebrating.
I just want to be clear on RJ's nickname. Could you give us that one more time?
I give everybody nicknames, but RJ, I call him RGZ. That's my boy RGZ.
All right.
I like it. Hey, Vincent, Coach Narduzzi made a point a couple times saying that you made people miss in the game on Saturday. Is that something, a skill you've developed over the years, or is it just God-given athletic ability?
I mean, it's basically, it's instinct, but it's the work too that I put in with Coach Powell. Coach Powell pushes us to make these extra moves and working on fundamentals, and extra. You gotta fight for your extra yards. You stiff arm, hezzy. You gotta fight for those extra yards. We gotta get those extra yards. If you want to play, you gotta make those. You gotta make something happen.
What's it like playing for Coach Powell?
Oh, that dude's tough, old school, but he's easy though. He's easy going once you get to know him. He's a good guy. He reminds me of my high school coach Donnell Bennett. Those guys, they just like on me heavy. Like, oh my God. Oh, those guys on me heavy. Like, give me a breather. But it's worth it. I don't need a breather. You need to stay on me all years. He's building me into a great guy.